Tonight, Andy Pettitte takes the mound on the first of 4 at the stadium against Toronto, as the Canadians try to master the hardest course in baseball. Yankees Jays next on Yes. It is a cool, crisp, autumnal evening here in the Bronx as we get ready for baseball. The fans file in, and the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays take on the New York Yankees in the first of 4 from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees had a chance to make history yesterday, and they didn't get it done. The offense left a lot of people on base, a lot of lost opportunities, but still at 9-2, you have to consider the Yankees start pretty darn good. Now, they're doing that without Derek Jeter. So the smart Alex in the world is saying, well, they really didn't need Jeter. But if you really look closely and watch all the games, Ken, they need Jeter because Almonte is not quite Jeter in short.
You're very right, Mike. The fact is the Yankees have made 6 errors so far this year. Eric Almonte has made 4 of them. We're going to take a look. This is against the Devil Rays on April the 4th, and he had an every other day thing working. April the 6th, a little spin move, throws the ball away, another error. Then on April the 8th against the Twins here at the stadium. Then on April the 12th, this is against the Devil Rays once again, 4 errors. Yesterday it was not an error, but it's a play that we've seen Derek Jeter make often. Ground ball through the middle will lead to a hit. The Yankees lost 2-1, a run scored on that play.
So here's the comparison. This season in 9 games, Almonte with 4 errors. That's a .900 fielding percentage. Last season, Jeter played 156 games. He committed 14 errors, and that's .977. Now, on the other side of the field, the Toronto Blue Jays come into town. The Yankees swept them in the opening series of the year. That was at Sky Dome, and they've been a very streaky team. But one guy that has not been streaky for them is Carlos Delgado. He's been coming up big.
Yeah, he's streaking in the right direction for Toronto. He's hit in 9 of his last 10 ball games. Now, the Yankees have only given up 2 home runs this year. This is one of them. Mike Messina to Delgado in that first series in Toronto, and that was well over 400 feet to straightaway center field. To show he's not only against the Yankees or going against them, this is against the Boston Red Sox. Carlos Delgado against Mike Timlin. And Carlos Delgado has been one of the best hitters and run producers in the game for the last few years.
And look at this season. In 12 games, 341, 4 home runs, 13 ribbies, good for 3rd in the American League. And on the road this year, a .462 batting average. Now, the first time these two teams met, well, you know the play that knocked Derek Jeter out for about 2 months. So there's some animosity there. But Andy Pettitte's not thinking of that. We'll come back with the pitching matchup when we get back right here on Yes.
For everything Yankees this season, there's only one place to turn, because nobody knows the Yankees like the Yes Network. It all happens here, with coverage of 134 games from the 26-time world champions, including the newest Yankee, Hideki Matsui, and the Rockets' race to 300 wins.
He struck him out.
Plus, the Yes Network celebrates the 100th anniversary of Yankees baseball with an unprecedented documentary series event, The History of the Yankees.
The luckiest man on the face of the earth.
And get the true stories of true legends as we go inside the pinstripes with a new season of Yankeeography.
You were almost in awe of the talent he had.
And the premiere of the center stage you've been waiting for, Donnie Baseball.
I never lost that fire to play, but I couldn't handle that part of being on the road.
Plus, the Yes Network specials, Hollywood Pinstripes, and The Shortlist, 5 great Yankees shortstops.
What a play by Derek Jeter.
And more of the greatest games with postseason Yankees classics debuting on Yes.
That ball's high, it is far, it is good.
New York's premier sports franchise.
Another miracle in the Bronx.
On New York's premier sports network.
I don't believe it.
Nobody knows the Yankees like the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network. The Yes Network, the home of champions.
It's a beautiful evening in the Bronx as the Yankees and the Blue Jays prepare to start a 4-game set at Yankee Stadium. And it all starts with pitching. So tonight's pitching matchup is brought to you by Infiniti, makers of innovative high-performance premium vehicles. Tanyan starts off to a great start, 2-0 for the Blue Jays, 1.98. Same thing for Andy Pettitte, also 2-0 with a slightly higher ERA at 2.13.
Andy Pettitte won his last start against the Minnesota Twins, but prior to that, on April the 1st, he was pitching against the Toronto Blue Jays, and he wasn't fooling around. 7 strong innings pitched for Andy Pettitte, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, The Yankees won by a score of 10-1. Andy Pettitte, 2-0.
Well, the Yankees swept the Blue Jays last time in the season opening series at the Sky Dome. How do they do in these four? Stay tuned on Yes and find out. Well, the Yankees have taken the field in the big ballpark in the Bronx, and Andy Pettitte, the Yankees starting pitcher, is taking his warm-up tosses. It looks like it's going to be a full moon, so maybe some wacky things will go on in this ball game. So Andy Pettitte is set to face this Toronto Blue Jay lineup as penned by Carlos Tosca, their manager. Shannon Stewart, the left fielder, will bat first. The right fielder is Frank Catalanato. He's going to bat second, hitting .286, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. He's from Smithtown, Long Island. Vernon Wells in center field will bat third. Batting cleanup and playing first base, Carlos Delgado. The DH is Josh Phelps. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Tom Wilson. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Eric Kinski at third base, bats seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Chris Woodward. And the second baseman batting ninth is Dave Berg.
Andy Pettitte, like the rest of the Yankee starters, off to a good start this year. He's 2-0 in his 2 prior outings. 2.13 ERA, 12 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 0 home runs, 4 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Here's our Yes scouting report on Andy Pettitte. Birds of a feather. He's won 14 games each against the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Tops against any opponent. Well, he halts the running game. The Blue Jays don't run very often, so they're not going to run much on Andy. And he's got a variety of pitches, good slider, good cutter. He also has a good curveball and a changeup.
A reminder, everybody, Yankee baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. Well, he's becoming a veteran left-hander. He is ready on the mound. Shannon Stewart is in the box, and we are ready for baseball as the Yankees start the final series of this 9-game homestand. And the first pitch is a strike. Might have heard that in the background. 51 degrees on first pitch game temperature. Andy 0-1. Foul back.
Well, you're talking about a leadoff man and what he has to do to be effective. I guess you would think runs scored. And right now, Shannon Stewart is tied with Darren Erstad of the Angels for the league lead in runs scored with 12.
In 12 games, he has not exactly been an igniter. He's had 1 hit leading off those 12 games, just 1. With the count now 1-2. Stewart has posted 4 straight 300 seasons, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of this season. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Shannon Stewart. Bernie gets it into Wilson, and Stewart is on with a single to start it off.
Well, Michael, you're right. It's only the second time in now 13 games that he's reached base in the first inning, the single into center field. It's interesting to note about the Blue Jays now that Shannon Stewart, probably their top base stealer, the Blue Jays have not stolen a base this year. Now they have one of their speedier runners at first base. They haven't filled that column. They're the only team in the American League without a stolen base.
And they also do not have a sacrifice hit. So they are looking for the home run. It's hard to steal against Pettitte. The combination of Pettitte and a seemingly rejuvenated Jorge Posada makes it very difficult to steal on the Yankees.
Yeah, I talked to Jorge about that. He threw out 2 runners yesterday attempting to steal against the Devil Rays, and Steelers are only 1 for 7 against the Yankees this year.
There's a strike.
Jorge said it was in the footwork, and also his arm feels better than at any time last season. Remember, last season he was coming off surgery. So I guess like a pitcher, it takes about a year to recover.
You know, people don't realize, they think it's all about arm, and you bring up the fact the footwork, Kenny. And I was watching the Yogi Berra Yankeeography the other day on Yes, and Berra said that his throws used to tail all the time until Bill Dickey said, you got to step into your throws. Your foot has to jump out first and just then throw straight through. He said you can't stand with both feet pointed towards second base, and just a little adjustment on the footwork made him throw to second base that much better. Popped up short right field. Soriano, 1 away.
We're going to take a look at those throws by Posada yesterday afternoon here at the stadium. And if you can watch the footwork more than anything, he just steps and throws. He used to walk straight through and then make a throw. There's more steps to his delivery, but now he's getting rid of the ball more quickly. And with his, rejuvenated arm, that combination makes it tough for people to steal.
It is kind of scary, Kenny, because if you think about it, the timeline remains the same. Bill Dickey taught Yogi Berra the same thing that Gary Tuck is preaching to Jorge Posada. So what worked in the 40s and 50s, there they go.
You know what's interesting? You mentioned Bill Dickey's name. Now, he's a Hall of Fame catcher, so is Yogi. But Bill Dickey had one season where he did not allow a passed ball the whole year.
He passed along the throwing technique and his number. Dickey and Yogi Berra both retired number 8s.
It's a good stop by Posada. The ball in the dirt.
The only stolen base the Yankees have allowed this year by Carl Crawford. That was in the series in Tampa Bay, not this past week.
Well, at least it's to one of the faster runners in the league.
He can't get everybody.
Yeah.
Even Pudge Rodriguez, 50% of the people steal against him. There's a ground ball at third. Let's see if they can get 2. There's 1, and there's 2, and around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. So Pettit, a ground ball pitcher with that cutter, gets it right there to get out of the inning. No runs, the hit, no errors, and nobody left. So the Blue Jays go down with 3 batters, and the Yankees come up in the bottom of the first. Top of the order is due. Tanyan Sturtz, who lost 18 games last year, was off to a 2-0 record. He's warming up for the Blue Jays, and this is the Yankee lineup he's going to face. Soriano leads off. He'll play second. Batting second and playing first, Nick Johnson. The DH is Jason Giambi. He hits third. The cleanup hitter, the center fielder, Bernie Williams. Against Sturtz, 11 for 23. That's 478 with 2 home runs. Hideki Matsui's in left. Jorge Posada will catch. The third baseman, Robin Ventura, will bat 7th. Batting 8th and playing right field, former Blue Jay Raul Mondesi. And Enrique Wilson gets a start at short. He'll bat 9th.
You're looking at 32-year-old Tanyan Sturtz, 2-0 this year. Last year, he was in the midst of an 8-game losing streak at this time of the year. 1.98 ERA puts him in the top 10. He's just pitched well. Here's the scouting report from Rays to Jays. I mentioned last year he was in the midst of an 8-game losing streak. This year he's 2-0. Lost to the Yankees 3 times last year, and he didn't win his second game in the last season until August 18th.
His 26th start. So he has certainly improved upon that. Last year, 4-18. And the pitch to Soriano is a strike. Tanyan Sturtz is one of those pitchers, Ken, and you don't hear this very often in today's game.
Look out. Woo. Yeah, you don't hear that very often. Look out.
Well, one of the things I was going to say is he throws too many strikes, and that's been part of his problem in the past. That was not a strike right there as he tries to move Soriano off the plate.
Target's inside, but this one is tailing in and follows Soriano. Not much he could do to get out of the way. He takes one on the hip and will head down to first base. That immediately puts Soriano in a position to steal, something he hasn't done this year.
Pitch to Nick Johnson's outside. What they want Sturtz to do, throw strikes, throw your low strikes, but work the plate in quadrants. They want him on the outside quadrant and the inside quadrant. They do not want it over the middle. That's been his problem. So he tries to go outside to Nick Johnson, 2-0.
Here's the guy you're talking about. Sturtz led the league in losses last year with 18, led the league in hits given up, led the league in runs scored against him, led the league in walks. I mean, he was working out of the stretch at just about every inning.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung and a miss. The throw to second is not in time. That is the first stolen base of the year for Alfonso Soriano.
Took Soriano 12 games into the 12th game to get his first stolen base of the year. Now, he did have a streak last year where he went 23 games without a steal and still stole 41 on the year. There he takes the look to see what happened with the ball, turns on the after jets and gets that left hand in there before the tag.
Now they want Nick Johnson to pull the ball. And he hits it to the left side. Does not get the job done, but Soriano's going to go for third. Test the arm of Delgado, and Soriano gets there. Hinske did not check him back enough.
Now, there's two things that the defense can do on this play. First of all, you get the ball, and he didn't even look at Soriano. So Soriano takes off. It's a long throw across the diamond for Delgado, and the throw is cut off by Sturtz. Didn't even look him back. You look him, you fake in his direction to make him lean towards second base. If that happened, Soriano would not go to third. Also, I've seen in the past, and it happened to me, if third baseman didn't check me, I started for third. The first baseman left the bag, took the throw, and threw over the third and got me.
Here's Giambi. That one's driven deep to left field, but foul.
And when I came back to the dugout, and I said, well, they got me. Did they get a double play? And he said, no. And I said, well, now I don't feel so bad. That first baseman was Jim Spencer, the late Jim Spencer.
Who was a good defensive
Yes, he
first
was.
baseman. And I think part of the reason they run against the Blue Jays and they take that bag at third is because they do not respect Delgado's arm, and that's why Jeter got hurt. Because Jeter tried to take advantage of the arm of Carlos Delgado. And that was one time, and this is in the opener of the season, where Delgado threw a bullet strike to Ken Huckabee covering, and that's how Jeter dislocated his left shoulder. They want to test Delgado at every turn.
Talked to some of the Toronto Riders, and they said Delgado's playing an excellent first base here early in the season. Of course, he's known primarily for his hitting, but defensively, he's come on.
That one is driven into shallow center field. Coming on, Vernon Wells. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. Soriano will score an RBI single for Jason Giambi, his 5th RBI of the year, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, Giambi with a little dunker. He's been hitting some balls on the nose lately, getting nothing to show for it. Fouls off a high fastball for strike one. Almost the same spot, 0-2. Then a little dunker as they try to change location, get in on him. They did, but it results in a dunk single in the center field. These are the type of hits that can get a hitter going. Coming into tonight's game, Giambi had 11 walks. Now he has 9 hits. So he's walked more than he's actually reached base via the hit.
And the breakdown on his hits: 9 hits, 3 home runs, 6 singles. He has not hit a double, nor has he hit a triple. Here's Bernie Williams. And when we gave you the lineups, you knew that Williams owns Tanyan Sturtz. He's hitting .409 in the early going, which is an unbelievable start for Bernie. But his numbers against Tanyan Sturtz, I believe it was 11 for 23 with 2 home runs, .478 batting average. He knows it. Sturtz knows it. 1-0. Staying away, 2-0. John Hirschbeck is the home plate umpire. He is known around the league as having somewhat of a generous strike zone, although it's starting to shrink just a little bit. And I think Major League Baseball is trying to legislate that. Wally Bell at first, Kerwin Danley at second, Bill Welke is at third. 2-1.
No, he mentioned all the negative stats with Sturtz last year. But the fact is, I mean, he was good enough for the Devil Rays to run out there every 5 days. He pitched well over 200 innings. He's about 6'5", got well over 200 pounds, so he's a strong guy. And originally he was signed for the Oakland A's organization by J.P. Ricciardi, who is now the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. And when he became a free agent, Ricciardi signed him for the Jays. There's a history there. And I think anytime you can find a pitcher that pitched over 200 innings, and he had a poor year last year, but he was with the Devil Rays, there's only one way he can go, and that's up. He's already got half as many wins as he had all last season.
And the old saying goes, you're not allowed to lose 18 unless you have decent stuff. And there's J.P. Ricciardi. And there's Bernie Williams taking a walk. J.P. has told me several times over the last year and a half that he is modeling the Yankees, or he's modeling his Blue Jays after this Yankee team. And he was the assistant general manager to Billy Beane in Oakland. And Billy Beane admitted that he modeled the A's after the Yankees, that the Yankees worked the count, walked, and that's what they preach in the minor league system, and Ricciardi's bringing that same system to Toronto.
On base percentage.
Here's Hideki Matsui, runners on first and second with 1 out. Yankees lead 1-0, bottom of the first. count 1-0.
Michael, before the game, we were talking about Matsui, and he's been doing pretty well of late, leading all American League rookies in runs batted in. But we talked about the fact as he learns the league, he's going to get better as the year goes along. I think he'll be better in the second half. And right now, he's kind of flying blind through the league, but because you need that experience facing the pitchers.
There's a strike. He definitely is feeling his way, and everybody says that when a batter doesn't know a pitcher, or a pitcher doesn't know a batter, the batter definitely has the disadvantage. Matsui hitting .313 with runners in scoring position. Rick Down, the Yankee hitting coach, looking on. Ground ball left side. Bobbled slightly by Hinsky. They get one. They cannot get the double play. That bobble cost them the double play as Giambi moves to third.
One thing we've seen from Matsui, his ability to hit the ball the other way. This time the bobble, and there Michael's right, up against the chest. And Dave Berg cannot relay it the first in time to get Matsui because of that split-second bobble by the third baseman. Another pitch away from Matsui, hits it the other way, hustles down the line, and the Blue Jays cannot complete the double play. And that keeps the inning going, which means Tanyan Sturtz has to work a little harder to get out of this inning.
Matsui, a good base runner, but does not have great speed. Leads off first. Here's Posada at the plate. There's a strike right down the middle. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Posada off to a solid start. Goes the other way, but it slices for him.
Part of that solid start was that Jorge yesterday had an 8-game hitting streak broken. Went 0 for 3 with a walk. That's been pretty much a staple of his hitting with runners in scoring position. You don't drive in as many runs as Posada did last year without having good numbers in these situations.
Giambi's at third. Matsui is at first. Yankees have 1 run in. It's a 1-0 Yankee lead. Bottom of the first inning. The 0-2, a weak hack by Posada, obviously expecting something else, and he got an off-speed pitch. For the Yankees, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 1-0 Yankees.
You're watching Yankees Encore. We now move to the top of the 3rd inning.
Dave Berg leads out the top of the 3rd against Andy Pettitte. Yankees lead 1-0. Berg hits one to deep right field. Going back, Mondesi on the run. He makes the play for the first out of the inning. Good jump by Mondesi to haul it in.
Well, he talked about his ability in right field, and one of those abilities is to be able to range far and wide. Not only his throwing abilities, he makes a nice play. You know he's pumped. He's playing against the Blue Jays. His former team. Anytime you play against your former team, you really want to show them they made a mistake in letting you go.
Here's Shannon Stewart. And the pitch is a strike. And it has to be particularly galling to the Blue Jays when Mondesi helps to beat them, since they're paying approximately half of his salary this year.
That's just modern-day baseball.
Count is 1-1.
The Yankees were thinking about trading Mondesi too, and I think the Padres wanted the Yankees to pay part of his salary, so 3 teams would have been paying him.
Fouled away. Well, the way it breaks down, he makes $13 million this year, and the Blue Jays are paying $6 million, and the Yankees, in talking about the deal with San Diego wanted the Yankees to pay 6 of the 7, and so did the Pirates, and the Yankees said, we'd rather keep him. He's in good shape. Let him play here rather than pay him to play somewhere else. And so far it's worked out because he has been energized. He's in great shape. He's hustling. He's hitting the ball the other way, which he wasn't doing the last couple of years. And this is a contract year for Mondesi, final year. And the 2-2. Swung on a miss. He struck him out. 2-way.
That strikeout of Shannon Stewart was the 100th for a Blue Jay hitter this year. They lead the league in striking out. And he might have chased the pitch out of the strike zone. That's what upset Shannon Stewart as he is headed back to the dugout following a breaking ball kind of hung high and outside.
Here's Catalanato. Hit sharply to short, backhanded by Wilson. Sets, fires in the dirt. Johnson can't come up with the scoop. That'll be a base hit.
Degree of difficulty, but a good throw would have had him. So once you hit that outfield grass, I think that was the difference. That's why he got a base hit. If he's still on the skin of the infield, they might have called that a throwing error. But because Enrique Wilson was on the outfield grass, it's a longer throw. Nick Johnson can't come up with it. They're going to give Frank Catalanato a base hit. You know, you might go to another city and they'll call that an error. Depends on the official score.
Here's Vernon Wells, and the pitch is upstairs. Now, ironically, Nick Johnson is considered to be a better defensive first baseman than Jason Giambi, but Jason Giambi is outstanding in scooping balls out of the dirt. That is his signature move, so you wonder if he'd have been able to come up with that, but Giambi is the DH tonight.
So that allows Vernon Wells to hit in this inning, and you see the 16 RBIs. That leads the American League. Wells drove in 100 runs last year, the youngest Blue Jay ever to drive in 100 runs.
Pitch is high, the count 3-0.
And from what I've heard about the Blue Jays, that Vernon Wells and Roy Halladay are like the two clubhouse leaders. And two young guns. I mean, two young players that the command authority in their clubhouse.
3-0. 3-1. He wants to get Wells here because you certainly don't want Delgado to come up with two runners on base. And his first time up, Delgado dented the right field wall. Catalanato leads off first, and the 3-1 is not made as Andy goes to first.
Catalanato maybe had the shortest lead in baseball history.
Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network. We're in the top of the third inning. Yankees lead the Blue Jays 1-0. First game of a 4-game set. That one's driven deep to right center field. That's going to be trouble. Going back is Mondesi. Still back, looking up. It's off the base of the wall. Bernie Williams plays the carom. Here comes Catalanato. The throw is not made by Soriano. And the game is tied up at 1.
Well, you go back to that play that was bobbled by Nick Johnson. That would have been the third out if it's made, and Vernon Wells would not have batted. And he adds to his league-leading total and runs batted in with this double off the wall in right center field, just in front of the 385 sign. Andy Pettit kind of stumbled and maybe twisted an ankle backing up a base, and Mel Stoudemire got the attention of John Hirschbeck, and they're going to check on the lefty to see if he's okay.
Yankee trainer Gene Monahan right there. And Pettit was just going to back up. And in backpedaling, he didn't look where he was going, and he twisted his ankle. And you can see the pain as the ankle kind of turned over. Let's see if it inhibits the way he throws. That's what Stoudemire and Monahan are watching.
It's tough to get Andy Pettit out of the game. I think he's going to gut it out here.
I don't think there's a good ankle that you could turn if you're a pitcher, because one ankle you're pushing off of, the other one you're landing, so they're equally important. And he's trying to convince everybody that he's okay.
Going to take another look as Wells hits the ball. Now watch Andy Pettit. His job is to back up a base in which he believes a ball will be thrown. Now he's going to try and back up home plate. Now we don't see it from the waist down, but there's the trip by Andy Pettit. But he's going to stay in. He's a baseball player.
And a tough one at that. And he will face Carlos Delgado. Game is tied at 1. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Runner on second base now. Wells drove in his 17th run with that double. Breaking ball is a strike. You know, on that double, the reason Catalano could score was that Mondesi got too close to the wall. And once the carom got past Mondesi, then Bernie Williams had to track it down. But if Mondesi with the better arm had fielded it and got it into Soriano, they might not send Catalano from third.
Now the reason why he got so close to it, close to the wall, because he thought he could catch the ball.
A hot shot off the glove of Nick Johnson. He will scramble after it. He can't get there. Here comes Wells. The throw home is not in time. Now the throw to second is in time. So a little sloppy baseball there by the Yankees as a run scores. You give an RBI to Carlos Delgado with a hot shot off the glove of Nick Johnson. And the Blue Jays lead 2-1. A breaking ball that was up in the zone, and Johnson could not come up with it on the backhand. Good third base coaching by Butterfield, who waved home Wells, and Wells scores. 2 runs, 3 hits, and nobody left. Bottom of the 3rd, 2-1 Blue Jays. Well, we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, somewhat of a sloppy top of the 3rd, where the Blue Jays score 2 runs, so they lead the Yankees 2-1. Jason Giambi leads off, and they have the Giambi shift on. 3 infielders on the right side.
Here's a look at Delgado going into second. Now, is he safe? That's my question. Looked like the tag was applied a little late, but is his left foot on the bag? Here's another look. Now watch his foot. The tag hasn't been made until then.
I don't understand why he would just loaf into second base like that.
Probably thought he was going to be an easy out.
Two and two. If you're scoring at home, the run scores on an RBI single by Delgado, and then Delgado is out at second. 3-2-6. That one's driven out to right field, right center field. Wells is there, and he'll put it away for the first out of the inning, off the end of the bat.
Jason Giambi tell Bobby the other day he's just this far away, about an inch. He held his thumb and forefinger about an inch away, or an inch apart. He says this far away, and that's what he was on this swing. He's getting close, but no cigar as of yet.
Here's Bernie Williams. Pitch is low. Bernie walked in the first inning. And the 1-0. There's a strike. Bernie, a notorious slow starter, hitting .409. A year ago today, .214.
Oh.
And he got the shots, the cortisone shots in his shoulders a year ago tomorrow. And that was a taxing day for him.
Didn't he miss a whole series following those shots? I think they were playing Baltimore.
I believe so.
And Bernie had to sit out 3 days. Stick a needle in your shoulder, I guess you would sit out a couple of days.
There were many things that contributed to Bernie's problems last year. One of the things was the World Series the previous year went so deep, and the offseason was so short that he never worked his shoulders the way he was supposed to. And his shoulders were not in shape when he got to camp, and they really bothered him. He has congenitally bad shoulders. He's always going to have problems with them. He has to work them constantly. And this winter, he really put a lot of effort into it. And his shoulders feel strong, so he feels secure at the bat. He can wait. He's not rushing the bat through the zone, and trust his speed. Trust his bat speed. And the 3-2. He walked again. 2 walks by Bernie Williams. So you know that Sturt's trying to stay away from him, because 11 for 23 Bernie is against Tanyan Sturtz. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Now, the last 11 and a third innings, the Yankees have been handed 12 walks, and none of them have scored. And going back to yesterday's game with the Devil Rays.
And in yesterday's game, they scored 1, and today they have 1 run scored. Sturtz has thrown 53 pitches, not a good ratio, 25 strikes, 28 out of the zone. Carlos Tosca has made 41 pitching changes, which is the most in baseball. You know, it's the second most in baseball. Texas is the most with 42. And what he's trying to do is trying to use a bullpen that matches up well. Lefties and somewhat questionable starters through enough of the game to get to that bullpen. A lot of patience by Matsui. He's working count 3-1.
One thing we noticed from Matsui as we look out at the Toronto Blue Jay bullpen beyond the wall in left center. Very often.
Runner goes. The 3-1 is outside, so Matsui walks. And the Yankees again have a couple of runners on base. With 1 out, and that'll bring up Posada.
Well, Sturtz led the league in walks last year with 89. It's 5 in this evening's game. He's got 8. So his previous 2 starts, he had only walked 3. So this is, as far as his control is concerned, this is his worst outing of the year. And Gil Patterson out to the mound and said, you know, settle him down. You're not pitching badly. Your problem is coming because of the fact that you're maybe trying to be too fine.
You know, we mentioned before, Kenny, the man, the Blue Jays, and about major league experience. The Toronto coaching staff has a total of 108 major league games played. Bruce Walton, their bullpen coach. Posada pops it up foul. Now, if you want a comparison, the New York Yankee coaching staff, including manager Joe Torre, has 7,551 to 108. A lot of baseball there.
Yes, there is.
The 0-1, nub foul off the end of the bat, 0-2. But that doesn't necessarily mean better, Kenny, because you played for a Hall of Fame manager that didn't have a lot of experience.
But not in the major. He wasn't major league caliber. In fact, on Earl Weaver's birthday, one time they asked the players what they would give him, and Kiko Garcia had said, I'd give him 1 day playing in the major league, so he knew it's not that easy.
Former Yankee manager Buck Showalter never played in the major leagues. Played in the minor leagues, though. Tosca is exceptional because he never even played in the minors.
I think a lot of it has to do with your people skills and how well.
Runners lead. Up and away.
You know, when it comes to Earl Weaver, people might question his people skills, but the way he did it.
As long as it was fair, it spread around,
well,
right?
the whole idea, he could get you to focus on a daily basis on what you were doing. And that was his best attribute.
Count levels at 2-2.
But he just the wrong way.
Well, the Blue Jays have responded to Tosca's leadership, but right now, quite a bit. And the 2-2. Hit deep to right field. Going back, Catalinato looking up. See ya! Home run! Jorge Posada!
Well, the Yankees finally cash in some walks. I think it's just a matter of time. Usually you see home runs following a walk. This one followed two. And then Posada did the rest.
Here's Ventura, 21st home run by the Yankees. Their pitchers have allowed just 2.
They had that set.
That's a perfect Yankee Stadium home run. The parabola into the short porch and right. And it's been happening since 1923.
They have the lead.
That one's driven to deep center field. Going back Wells, he's there. 2-away. He had walked 2. He's 2-2. He doesn't want to go 3-2, which leads him 1 pitch closer to a walk. So he threw a pitch he might not have thrown if he hadn't walked the previous 2 guys.
Yeah, when he looked over in the on-deck circle, he saw Robin Ventura, and he remembered the grand slam from last year. You've got to throw a strike eventually. When he gets to 2-2, you know, it's a dangerous pitch. If he misses 2-2, he goes to a full count, which gives the hitter, you know, even more of a sense of he's going to throw a strike.
Pitch to Mondesi, a little bit high.
Jorge Posada's been hot. He's hit it in now 9 of his last 10 games. There's that breaking ball right there, and
as you like to call it, the happy zone is low and inside.
they dropped the head of the bat through the zone and kind of pulled through with the hips, and it's gone. Right-handers can do it too, but breaking balls you hit primarily more that zone, and that's why left-handers, they smile.
Fourth home run of the year for Posada. Strike 3 outside corner. Mondesi down looking, but the damage has been done. 3 runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, no errors, and nobody left. Posada's 4th home run of the year. 2 lead as we head to the 4th.
We now move to the top of the 5th inning.
Top of the 5th inning. Chris Woodward leads off. And the pitch is outside. 1-1. 4th round draft pick.
I think you give kudos to the people, your development people. I think the Blue Jays have been one. No matter what round you're drafted in, you always seem to improve when you're in their organization.
Driven down the right field line, giving chase is Mondesi, but that'll make the seats.
And what happens is you become as a possible trade. You know, if they need something, if somebody needs a shortstop or a young shortstop, if somebody's gotten better in the minor leagues as a prospect, you're included in a deal.
That one's driven out. Make the play, plays it on a hop, so a leadoff single by Woodward.
It's interesting that the way that this game is played out. Now, Tanyan Sturtz has only allowed 2 hits, one of them a home run. Andy Pettitte has allowed 7 hits, but trouble.
And that's been a hallmark for the Yankee starters this entire season. They just throw strikes. Every single one of the 5 of them. Here's Dave Berg. Inside outed the other way, out of play. The Yankees as a team have issued 21 walks. Close. Pettit's thrown 69 pitches, 45 for strikes. Let's see what the number 2 team would be. I guess that would be Cleveland. They've issued 30 walks. Now the can't pitch. Texas Rangers have issued 67 walks.
More than 3 times as many as the Yankees.
Wow. What about the walks? The Yankees had 8 yesterday, 7 today, and the record is 29. And Detroit was the team that walked 29 times. Now the team that walked them, the 1916 A's. And their pitchers, Jing and Elmer Myers. And I personally think that not enough youngsters today are named Elmer. Anymore. He's not an Elmer. That kid is not an Elmer.
Well,
there is one Elmer in the big leagues, though.
Yeah, that's a name that you...
That one's driven deep to center field. Bernie back, still back. He's there. And he puts it away for the first out of the inning. There is an Elmer in the big leagues. Elmer descends of the Diamond.
Just call me Elm for short.
I guess.
Or Tree.
You can't picture like parents, you know, expectant parents sitting there going over names, and you know, one of them comes up. That's not an Elmer. That's a Billy.
That's a Michael.
Bubba's a different story. Ball gets away from Posada, and hustling to second is
good reactions by Woodward on the bases once he saw that pitch was going to be low. And you are taught this, or supposedly taught this in the minor leagues. When you're leading away from a base and you see that the ball is headed in low, you start to lean towards the next base. Not come up with it. That ball did not get that far away from Posada, but some good work on the bases by Woodward to get himself in the scoring position.
grounded, foul. Now our information guy has way too much time on his hand. There have been 38 Elmers in Major League history, including your cousin Elmer Singleton.
Yeah, my cousin, yeah.
And there's actually an Elmer Hall of Famer. Yep.
Yeah. Elmer Flick. He became a movie critic after his career was over.
Four to 2 Yankees lead. Woodward's at second with 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning at the stadium. And the 2-1. Hit sharply, foul. And Skippy.
You know, with 3 gloves, you ought to be able to catch something.
You want to know. No part of that.
Except.
He makes some nice plays there. That's not one of them. The 2-2. That's driven into right center field. That's going to be a base hit, and that is going to score a run. Comes into Soriano, an RBI single for Shannon Stewart. and the Yankee lead is now 4-3.
Shannon Stewart's one of the most productive consecutive years. He scored over 100 runs 4 consecutive years, and this time he picks up his second hit of the game that drives in a run. Drops it into left center field, and Stewart's right. Once he picks the ball up, Stewart stops, knowing who has the ball, and that keeps the tying run out of scoring position.
Young Jason Anderson, the rookie right-hander, warming for the Yankees in their pen. Mel Stoudemire has a word or two with Pettit. And Willie Randolph teaching. Almonte, the willing pupil. Usually it's Willie tutoring Soriano, but Soriano's out at second base. Willie can't get to him right now. So he has an Almonte.
Well, Soriano's now into his second year of getting his degree, his Randolph degree of second basing.
Randolph State is really the Ivy League. Randolph played more games at second base than any other Yankee. And played it pretty darn well. The 0-1. He really has done a great job with Soriano. We mentioned in the pregame show that Soriano has not made an error this year at second base. And the count 2-1. In fact, the right side of the Yankee infield has yet to commit an error. Yankees only have 6. 1 a throwing error by Zeal, 4 by Almonte, and 1 by Mon. The 2-1. Pettit is struggling right now with the plate. Seems to be moving around on him. The count 3-1.
Yeah, he's got a tough hitter at the plate in Catalanata, who has a pretty good. Back in the past in Texas, we didn't see Catalanata play too often against left-handers. But he's in there tonight.
I'll tell you what, doesn't get any easier. Vernon Wells is on deck, and then Carlos Delgado. There's a strike. You know, when we say 6 errors, we mean by the positional players out in the field. There's 1 by a pitcher and 1 by Posada yesterday. But third, they send the runner on 3-2. They do not. And that one is hit sharply through the right side for a base hit. Stewart will stop at second. Mondesi boots the ball. Now he's going to fire to third. Not in time. That should be another error. And that's the way it's scored. The second error of the year by Mondesi.
A little more sloppy play by the Yankees. First of all, the base hit, and I think when Mondesi's the ball, and that gives Stewart a chance to get the third with 1 out. A single and an error. And the Blue Jays have the tying run at third base with 1 down. Stewart's going to stop. He took a glance, and that was the key. Instead of just stopping at second, he looked at it right. He saw the bobble and moved on to third.
Well, Joe Torre has seen it. Jason Anderson comes in. Jason Anderson against Vernon Wells. Tying runs at third. We'll come back. Time for the Singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. Andy Pettit can only watch as Jason Anderson comes on to try to get out of the jam that Pettit created. Pettit leaves this jam first and third with 1 out, top of the 5th inning, and the Yankees' 4-3 lead is hanging in the balance. So Anderson will pitch in his 3rd big league game. You see the numbers. The pitch against Toronto on opening night gave up 2 successive hits. So he's yet to retire a Blue Jay. Pitch to Wells as a strike. Anderson allowed singles to Tom Wilson and Greg Myers, and then was lifted quickly. That was his first big league appearance on opening night at Skydome. And then he came in opening day here at Yankee Stadium against the Twins. And you see Pettit's line right now. The runs, that's still up in the air because the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. He came in on opening day, the home opener. That was hit deep to center field. Going back, Bernie Williams. Still back, on the run. He'll make the play on the track. Tagging is Stewart. He will score. Catalanato also tags, and he'll move to second. That's a sac fly for Vernon Wells, his second RBI of the game, and this game was tied up at 4.
It was almost more than a sacrifice fly as he really put a charge into it. Kind of a hanging slider out over the plate. Good extension by Wells. I don't think he quite got his body into it, and that's why he wasn't able to hit it out of the ballpark. But got the good wood on it and sent Bernie to almost to the warning track in deep left center field.
With Delgado up there choosing to intentionally walk. Catalanato's hustle pretty much dictates that the Yankees could avoid Delgado, because if Catalanato's at first, it's against conventional baseball practice to walk the guy into scoring position. But since he's there anyway, well, why not avoid Delgado?
Well, you know, if you look at who's on deck, it's a right-handed hitter in Josh Phelps, and Phelps is 0 for 2 tonight, 5 for his last 32. So you got to be surprised that Delgado has been walking much more lately. And if you had your choice, you would go with Phelps.
Jose Contreras is warming for the Yankees in their bullpen. He has struggled in his first couple of outings out of the pen, a starter by nature. Phelps is 0 for 2 tonight. And pitch a little bit low.
The Yankees like Anderson's arm. He's got a good arm. He gets his fastball up there low to mid-90s. Decent breaking ball. He pitched at AA and AAA last year. Moved his way up the ladder and earned a spot on the club out of spring training.
And this is a prime example of Torrey saying he's on the team. I'm going to use him in big situations.
He got a chance to pick up a win. In fact, even if he hadn't given up that run, he had a chance to pick up a win because Andy Pettitte did not go 5 innings.
2-0. Foul back.
There's that good fastball. The breaking. You just can't roll him up there to the plate.
2-1. There's a strike. 93 miles an hour on the outside corner, and the count levels at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for the Blue Jays. It's a 4-4 game here in the top of the 5th. 2 runs already in. And the 2-2. Well, that helps the Blue Jays with a 3-2 count to run now with 2 outs. And on deck is Tom Wilson. Anderson retired the side in the 9th inning during the home opener. We're going to get out of a jam here. Phelps stays alive, fouling it away.
We just had a shot at both managers, Joe Torre and Carlos Tosca, and both of them are thinking, well, if we win this one, we're going to have to piece it together. You know, the Yankees out of the bullpen, even though the starting pitcher is still in there for the Blue Jays, Tanyon Sturtz has walked 7. You know, it's kind of been a sloppy game from both sides. We've seen some errors, one on each team. And the Yankees have been forced to go to the bullpen with Anderson and Contreras, who we haven't seen lately. So this is one of those games, either manager is going to say, if we win it, man, we really struggle to get the job done.
Now Mel comes out, very unusual, in the middle of an at-bat 3-2. You think he's saying stop feeding him fastballs, even if the curve's not working, you got to show it?
I think what he's saying is make a good pitch, because even though you got the 3-2, you got a base open. Just don't groove one down the middle to a good fastball hitter.
3-2, way outside off the glove of Posada. And the bases are loaded with Blue Jays. That brings up Wilson.
See, but now he's put this young pitcher in a situation where there's no room for error. You can't walk the next guy. You have to throw strikes. But Phelps is more of an RBI guy than Wilson.
Tom Wilson.
They have Contreras in the bullpen. But this is the part of the Yankee bullpen that's a little bit shaky, because all the guys that would be in this role have a higher standing now because of the injuries to Rivera and Carsey. So the middle guys are the setup guys, and the setup guys are the closers. And the Yankee bullpen is somewhat out of whack. Wilson 3 for 8 career with the bases loaded, and that's what he sees right now. Staying away, and the count 1-0. There's a strike. So Wilson was making him throw a strike. So now Wilson will look to hack a 2-1 count. The runner at third base is Andy Pettit's responsibility. That's Catalanato. Delgado at second, Phelps at first. Delgado and Phelps the responsibility of Anderson. So the game is tied at 4. Pettit can't win it, but if Catalanato scores and the Blue Jays never trail, Pettit can lose it. The 2-1. Way outside, 3-1. Helpless feeling. Tanyan Sturtz has not pitched well, but his team is still in it. And the 3-1 pitch, way outside, wasn't even close. Coming in is Catalanato. That one forces in a run, and that will do it for Anderson as Joe Torre is quickly out of the dugout. The Blue Jays lead 5-4. 3 straight walks, 1 intentional by Anderson. And the Yankee 4-2 lead is now a 5-4 deficit.
As we have seen throughout this game, there's no defense for the base on balls.
Anderson gets booed as he comes off the mound. Jose Contreras makes his first Yankee Stadium appearance. He comes in with the bases loaded.
Here's Soriano, the winning run of the 5th game of the World Series. Knobloch at second.
Swung on line drive to right field. That's a base hit. Charging is Sanders. Rounding third is Knobloch. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. He slides. He's in there. The Yankees win. They did it again. The Yankees win. And Knobloch is mobbed at home plate. Oh my! Another miracle in the Bronx. So, not a good outing for Jason Anderson. He gave up a long sac fly to Vernon Wells, the center. Then he intentionally walked Delgado. Then he walked Josh Phelps. And then he just walked Tom Wilson to force in the go-ahead run. And that forces Joe Torre to bring in Jose Contreras, who certainly has not been what the Yankees expected to this point. But in fairness to him, he's a starter by trade. He is working out of the bullpen because of the Yankees' abundance of starters.
Well, you can't come into a tougher jam out of the bullpen. Bases loaded. I guess you could if there was nobody out, but there's 2 outs. Anytime the bases are loaded, it's difficult. You're forced to throw strikes in good places, and you got a hitter up who's done pretty well in these situations in the early part of his career.
9 for 19, 474. Contreras deals the Hinsky. And it's a strike. Dropped by Posada, but a strike nonetheless. Delgado hustles back to third. Jose Contreras' first appearance at Yankee Stadium.
You notice him putting his hand in his glove with the split finger grip. He has a good splitter. Now he can change the grip, and it looks as though he has to throw something else here.
Line drive, base hit to left field, and that will score 1 run. Butterfield holds up Phelps at third. An RBI single for Hinsky, and the Blue Jays lead 6-4. Yankee bullpen is unraveling.
Yeah, I like Hinsky's approach here. As a fastball up and out over the plate. He didn't try to do too much. In these situations, a single will get you at least one run, and Hinsky just stays with it, hits the ball the other way for the base hit. Hit it where it was pitched, up and away, and he hit it the other way.
So Hinsky's contacts worked on that. And now here's Chris Woodward. A little bit low.
It's kind of a pitch you could just stick the head of the bat out there and let the force of the pitch itself just take the ball into left field.
Woodward started this with a single to left center field off Pettit. The 10th batter to come to the plate. 1-0. Driven out to right field. It'll stay in the park. Mondesi puts it away for the final out of the inning. But the Blue Jays score 4. At the end of 4.5, we're halfway through. Blue Jays 6 and the Yankees 4. Well, fans, due to Friday's rainout, the Yankees have rescheduled their magnetic schedule giveaway for this Wednesday, April 16th, when they host the Blue Jays at 7:05. Now, all fans in attendance at Wednesday's game will receive the Yankees magnetic schedule courtesy of Verizon Wireless. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. Matsui leads off, and Tanyan Sturtz has a second life. Let's see if he can find the plate. Matsui's 0 for 1 with a walk. 6-10-1, 4-2-1 for the Yankees. There's a strike, and the count 0-2. Maybe with a lead, he pitches with a little bit more aggressiveness. He doesn't try to nibble, which looked to be his problem early. Here's the 0-2. Low, 1-2.
Trying to get Matsui the chase, but as we've seen, Matsui is a very disciplined hitter.
Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network. Bottom of the 5th inning. The Blue Jays have knocked out Yankee starter Andy Pettit. Yankee offense struggling just a little bit. Blue Jays lead 6-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. And this is the first game of a 4-game set between these Eastern Division rivals. Tomorrow, great pitching matchup. Mike Messina against Roy Doc Halladay. Matsui's worked the count full, 3-2. Posada, a 3-run home run already tonight, is on deck. 3-2. Hit sharply through the right side for a base hit. So Matsui leads off the bottom of the 5th with a single.
In that at bat, we talk about discipline. Matsui swung the bat one time and picked up a base hit. This is the swing. Fastball up, pulls it into right field for the base hit. A short, compact stroke. And with this base hit, the Yankees now bring the tying run to the plate. That was a good at-bat leading off an inning.
Now trying to pump up Jose Contreras. Posada at the plate. Hit deep to right. Fair, it's gone. That ball is a foul ball. First base umpire Wally Bell watched it all the way. It was almost a tie game. No argument from the Yankees.
Well hit, but not well placed. Posada hit that like he called for it himself.
Right now, the pitchers of record, Andy Pettit on the losing side. Now, Tanyan Sturtz can't even be considered on the winning side until he pitches 5 innings. He's thrown 92 pitches so far. A starter must go 5 to get the victory. Big, healthy cut. He pulled the string. Posada way out in front. The count 1-2.
Good pitch, maybe one of the best pitches of the night by Tanyan Sturtz. Drop a changeup on Posada, who just ripped one down the right field line.
6-4 Blue Jays lead. Runner on first base, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. 1-2 is way outside, 2-2. Aquilino Lopez, a right-hander, is warming for the Blue Jays in their bullpen. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike three outside corner. Posada down looking. Not in love with the call. One away.
Usually when you struggle with your control, you don't get the close pitches. That is definitely a close pitch. Wilson sitting out there did a good job of holding the glove for John Hirschbeck. And that's one of those Hirschbeck strikes. That one didn't have much of the plate, if any at all. Looked like it was at least a ball outside.
Pitch to Ventura, another change. 0-1. It's tough for a catcher because you have to hit, and then you want that same call when you're behind the plate. So if you complain, and then you don't get it for your pitcher, Hirschbeck could say, well, you said it wasn't a strike. Other strike in the count, 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Line foul the other way.
Now Ventura is just as capable as Matsui as putting together a credible at bat, even though it started out 0-2.
Tonight, Ventura's walked and flied to center. Yankees led 1-0. Yankees led 4-2. Now they trail 6-4 in the bottom of the fifth. That one's driven out to deep left center field, giving Chase his Stewart. He has room, and he'll put it away in Death Valley for the second out of the inning. Matsui was all the way to second. Hill jogged back to first. So 2 down. That'll bring up Mondesi.
To show you the difference between the Yankees lineup and the Blue Jays lineup from a year ago. Most of the time, when we saw the Blue Jays, when Mondesi was there, he was batting third. Here with the Yankees, we've seen him primarily 7th and 8th, maybe 1 or 2 times 6th.
That one's hit deep to left field. Going back, Stewart. Still back on the track. Looking up. See ya! A 2-run home run for Raul Mondesi. And the Yankees and the Jays are tied at 6.
Well, just because Mondesi's batting 8th tonight doesn't mean he has any less power than he did last year when he hit third in the Blue Jays lineup. It just means that the Yankee lineup is that much more powerful.
And he exacts somewhat of a measure of revenge against the team that traded him. Well, Carlos Tosca has seen enough. He signals for Lopez in the bullpen. Tanyan Sturtz is done. He will not pick up his 3rd victory. And the pitch was up in the zone, and Mondesi, showing great power, launched it right in front of the retired numbers in left field for a home run, a game-tying home run. It's 6-6, and we've only just begun. So Lopez comes in. He'll face Wilson. Blue Jays 6, Yankees 6. Stay right here.
Well, you look at it, Mel Stottlemyre and young Jason Anderson, and Mel, always the teacher, trying to smooth it over for young Mr. Anderson. Just let them know what he might be able to do in the future that will be better than this last appearance that he had tonight. And the fact is that the Yankees have tied the game, so Jason Anderson feels a lot better about himself right now. He's not going to really affect the outcome of the game.
Enrique Wilson runs the hands up the bunt, takes a strike. Pettit's off the hook. Anderson's off the hook. Sturtz can't get a win or a loss right now. The pitchers of record, Jose Contreras for the Yankees, and this man, Aquilino Lopez, The relief pitcher who comes on for Tanyan Sturts.
As we both talked to Carlos Tosca, the Blue Jays manager, as we look at what Aquilino Lopez has done this year, he talked about the fact that their bullpen has been a little shaky lately.
Line drive, base hit to right field for Enrique Wilson. Will he go for two? He's going for two. Here's the throw from Catalanato. Not in time. Hustle double for Enrique Wilson.
One thing to remember about the Blue Jays this year as we watch Enrique Wilson with a hustle double. The Blue Jays do not have Raul Mondesi in right field. His arm is now in a Yankee uniform. Shannon Stewart in left field does not have much of an arm. The only outfielder with a decent arm, and a very good one at that, is center fielder Vernon Wells. They're going to struggle with runners taking extra bases this year on the Blue Jay outfielders.
Here's Soriano. Breaking ball, he checks the swing. 1-0. Hey, Catalanato
is an infielder.
Plays second base. And that's usually the weakest arm of all. See the scouting report on the Blue Jays outfield. Stewart, good range, poor arm. Wells, good range, strong arm. Catalanato, fair range. Inexperience, does not have a great arm. Grounded foul outside of third, 1-1. Six game. Hit shortly to third. Diving stop by Hinske. The long throw. Not in time. Soriano beat it out. Wilson is at third.
Once Hinske had to leave his speed, he had very little chance of getting Soriano with his speed. If he had come up with that cleanly, just bending over, he would have had that much more time to get the ball across the diamond. But Soriano sensing a hit. And he is something. Speed never takes a vacation. Hinske's reaction, once he hit the ground, he wasn't going to get him.
He was a lot closer than I thought he would. Bang, bang play at first. Here's Nick Johnson. And the first pitch is a strike.
And we talk about Lopez being a Rule 5 player. They got him from the Seattle Mariners organization.
Wilson's at third. Soriano's at first. Soriano can run.
Lopez is this year's version of Corey Thurman. Remember him last year in the Blue Jays? They picked him up as a Rule 5 player from the Kansas City organization. Thurman is now at AAA at Syracuse.
If you're picked up as a Rule 5 player, that team that selected you has to keep you on the 25-man roster the entire year. The old Jeff Nelson fate.
Speaking of Seattle.
Yeah. And if you decide to try to send him down, you have to offer him back to the team from which you selected him.
Now the price, was it still $50,000 you paid?
$50,000 when you make the selection, and if you offer him back, the team could get him back for $25,000. So they made $25,000 for their troubles.
For their look-see, yeah. And in this particular winter, I think there was a record number of Rule 5 players, over 50 throughout baseball.
Nice, inexpensive way to try to
pick off some talent.
Absolutely. The left-hander Miller warming in the bullpen. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not nearly in time. Another stolen base for Alfonso Soriano.
This throw by Wilson came very close to going into center field. Woodward up the ladder to bring it down. And you can see Berg hustling in the background trying to back up the throw.
Now a base hit for Johnson could give the Yankees a 2-run lead. 2-2. Swung and a miss. He struck him out. Again, the Yankees strand runners, and they've been doing a lot of it. Now 8 stranded runners in 5 innings. But the Yankees tie the game. 2 runs on that one swing by Raul Mondesi. We played 5. Blue Jays 6, the Yankees 6.
Welcome back to Yankees Encore. We now move to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Hey, Yankee fans, for the latest news, player updates, and Yankees merchandise, visit Yankees.com, the official site of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-6. Giambi leads off against Lopez. And the pitch is low. 6-11-1 for the Blue Jays. 6-6-1 for the Yankees. A lot of 6s. 6 runs for each. 6 hits for the Yankees. Bottom of the 6th inning. And the count 2-0.
Well, you can see why, because of the numbers that the Blue Jays went for Lopez and the Rule 5 player. He's got some great minor league numbers. I was looking at them. 28-16 in his minor league career, but in 418 innings pitched, only gave up 332 hits and 461 strikeouts in 418 innings to go along with only 128 walks. So great strikeout to walk ratio, doesn't give up many hits. You wonder why Seattle didn't put him on the 40-man roster.
And the 2-1. Giambi swings through 2-2. That's the value of a GM who does his due diligence with all the teams in the minor leagues.
Now, I've heard that what the Blue Jays do is we watch his swing by Giambi, swung through it. That they have people in their front office that all they do is pour through numbers of minor league players. And they look for red flag players, numbers that come up in favor of what the Blue Jays are looking for. And the numbers that we told you about Lopez, they'd come up in favor of anybody who might want to take a chance on him. But the same thing they do with hitters, they look for hitters with good on-base percentages in the minors.
And that's right out of the Oakland book, and Oakland stole it from the Yankees. Giambi has not had a home run in his last 27 at-bats. And the 3-2 just missed outside, so Giambi walks.
Second time that Giambi's walked tonight, and this is the dreaded leadoff walk.
One thing about Giambi, even though he's not hitting for average, he is getting on base and he works the count. So that shows you that he's seeing the ball well. He's not helpless at the plate.
Yeah, we did mention the fact coming into tonight he had more walks than hits. Now he does have a hit tonight, but he also has 2 walks.
There's Bernie Williams. Bernie has 2 walks as well. He's 0 for 1. And there's a strike. Yankees have won 9 of their first 11 games. Foul back. Now the Blue Jays have been very streaky. What they have done is somewhat odd and a concern for Tosca. They lost the first 3 games of the season, 3 in a row. That was to the Yankees. Then they won 5 in a row. Well, things are looking good. Then they lose 4 in a row, and that's where they stand right now. And that's usually the sign of a young team. Inconsistent.
I think what it does, it really points a finger at your pitching staff, because you don't have that 1 or 2 reliable. Well, Roy Halladay's pretty reliable. He's going to give you a good outing. But if he doesn't win his particular game, you know, they don't have somebody. If Clemens doesn't win his particular game, they don't have somebody like Andy Pettitte to fall back on, or Mike Messina the next day.
Bernie jumps rope to get out of the way.
Nice stop by Wilson to keep Giambi at first base. It's interesting to watch how defense is set up for different hitters. Now, we've shown you how defense is set up for Giambi, all pulled around to the right side. Now Giambi's on first base. Bernie Williams is at the plate. And the defense is more conventional. Everybody's just about straight away. The infield, middle infielders right here at double play depth. But you see how the outfielders are just about where they were laid out over 100 years ago when they invented the game. Straight away for Bernie Williams as opposed to being pulled around when Giambi's at the plate. Bernie more of a spray hitter, but he sprays the ball with power to all parts of the ballpark, and the outfielders are fairly deep.
Rip foul. Hideki Matsui is on deck.
A lot of that comes from scouting reports where the hitters actually hit the ball, where they hit each pitch, and that's why Bernie Williams, for 8 consecutive years, has hit over 300 because he's able to use the whole field. There's big gaps out there between the outfield.
Every count seems to be full tonight.
You're trying to say they could save time, just send everybody up there with a 3-2 count, just at one pitch.
And start hacking.
Yeah.
Jose Contreras wiggled out of trouble in the top of the 6th inning. Nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen, so this is Contreras's. See if they send Giambi. Delgado is playing behind him, shadowing him, but not holding him on. Doesn't have great speed. He goes a little bit low, another walk.
Yeah, that's how the manager relies on the hitter to protect the runner. If it's a ball, Joe Torre figures Bernie Williams is not going to swing at it. It's the 3rd walk of the night for Bernie Williams. So 2 walks to open the bottom of the 6th. We'll go Bernie pitch by pitch. Fastball for a strike. Tried to check his swing on a slider. Fouled it off. It was 0-2. He's in a deep hole, but he's really not. Lopez starts to nibble. Bernie fouls a strike off. Wouldn't chase a pitch, and it's ball 4. Is that something? 0-2, and they can't put him away.
Look at Gil Patterson. Doesn't he look just like Jim Bouton? Which is so appropriate. You know, all he sees is ball 4. Pitch to Matsui is a little bit low. He really does look like Bouton. Former Yankee pitcher who wrote that controversial book, Ball 4.
9 walks handed out to the Yankees tonight. There's Jim Bouton right in the middle of your picture next to Elston Howard and Tony Kubek. Staples of the Yankees back in the 60s.
Take those Mrs. Beasley glasses off. He looks just like him.
Going to take those glasses out there to the mound to his pitchers. They can't see home plate.
The one thing that's startling, Kenny, all of these walks we've seen from both teams, and you have John Hurspect behind the plate who wants to call strikes. So they haven't even been close. It's not like he's squeezing them. This is an umpire who's considered a pitcher's umpire. So Gil Patterson quickly goes out to the mound.
What they're doing is kind of stalling for time somewhat because the Blue Jay bullpen is sprung into action once again. They're looking for somebody out there who can get the ball over the plate.
You've got Trevor Miller and Jeff Tam warming. Yankees have walked 9 times tonight. The team record is 16 walks, and they did that back in June 23rd, 1915 against the Philadelphia A's.
That same team.
Yeah. They couldn't get the ball over the plate.
In fact, that 1915 Philadelphia A's team set the all-time record for walks in one season. Over 850 plus, I believe.
You know, that's how Connie Mack got gray hair. 2-0. There's a strike.
And the reason why I knew that, because the Devil Rays were on pace to break that record. 827, okay. And that was in 154 games.
And the 3-1. Now, this is a pitch that Joe Torre likes to run on. I don't know if he does it here with Giambi at second. He'll probably take it base to base.
He might wait to 3-2. But he also saw what happened with the Blue Jays last inning, too, with Catalanotto.
They don't go. That one's hit deep to right field. That ball is gone. See ya! An upper deck 3-run home run for Hideki Matsui, and the Yankees lead 9-6.
Well, he should have been able to see this one coming. The last time a Blue Jay pitcher walked 2 hitters in a row was in front of Jorge Posada's 3-run homer. Lopez walks Giambi and Bernie Williams, and Matsui, Godzilla, delivers.
And another curtain call. And on the scoreboard in center field, it says Gonzilla. And this one was Gonzilla. That was a no doubt about it. Into the upper deck, an upper tank blast 3-run shot. His second home run of this homestand, second home run of the season. Carlos Tosca goes to the bullpen again. Yankees have a 9-6 lead. Come back. We're still in the bottom of the 6th. So Hideki Matsui seems like he likes Yankee Stadium. A grand slam into the bleachers. The home opener, and now this.
Looked like a slider on the inner third of the plate. Now, if you remember the pitch he hit for the grand slam, it was a change-up in. Both of them headed out into the distance. And this is his first home run into the upper deck here at the stadium.
Matsui has 14 ribbies.
Chris Latham was sitting next to him, and he asked him what the pitch was, and Matsui looked over and said slider.
Here's Posada, and the pitch by Trevor Miller is way outside. Take a look at where Hideki Matsui stands, the RBI leaders in the American League. Forget about rookies. Vernon Wells is first with 18. Hillenbrand of the Red Sox 16. Delgado of the Blue Jays tied with Matsui for 14. Slow roller up the first baseline, foul.
He seems to hit his home runs at the right time with men on base. A grand slam and now a 3-run shot.
And he certainly spreads it around from left to right. 6 hits to left, 4 hits to center, 5 hits to right. So he hits them with a pitch. He has certainly been impressive so far this season. In the field and at the plate, has a flair for the dramatic as well. Matsui actually collected his first major league hit and RBI against Toronto on opening night in Toronto. Count 3-1.
Does this mean this next one has to be a strike?
It looks that way.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It was to Matsui, except it ended up in the upper deck. Way outside. Another walk. That is the Yankees' 10th walk against Blue Jay pitching.
Going to run out of ink.
Jim Bouton didn't. Look at the numbers on Trevor Miller. This is his 7th game. 43 pitching changes for Carlos Tosca. 3 innings, 8 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Here's Ventura. Pitch is high. 9-6 Yankees lead. Certainly a seesaw affair here on a Monday night in New York. Grounded foul.
You know, when I think of it, I've always mentioned is the fact that home runs follow walks, and because the pitcher not only is, you know, concerned about getting the ball over the plate. Now, that certainly wasn't Lopez's best slider. That was a get-it-over slider. And Matsui just hammered it. That's, you have to take advantage. When pitchers fall behind on the count, with men on base, they've got to get the ball in there. And when you're going badly, you foul that pitch off. You have a good swing, but you foul it off. Matsui has been so impressive. When he swings the bat, he usually makes decent contact.
Fought off foul. Down is always teaching hitting. Loves to talk hitting.
Now, we saw Mel Stoudemire with Jason Anderson before. I mean, school is always in session in the Yankee dugout.
That one's hit deep to right field. Going back, Catalinato. He has room in front of the track. He'll make the play for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Raul Mondesi, who has certainly had a full night to this point, and it's only the 6th inning.
Mondesi made a great throw here in the 2nd inning. This ball was a rocket off the bat of Carlos Delgado, and Delgado couldn't make it the 2nd. And then in the 5th inning, hanging slider. And Mondesi with a 2-run homer that tied the game.
And Mondesi will not face the left-hander Trevor Miller. Carlos Tosca with another pitching change. He calls on the right-hander Jeff Tam. Tam against Mondesi when we get back. Yankee fans having some fun watching their team break out of a little mini offensive malaise that they've had during the homestand. And now they'll try to do some damage against Jeff Tam, his 7th game. Boys, this bullpen's going to work a lot. 6 in the 3rd innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, a 4.26 ERA. They got Tam from the A's, and that's where Ricciardi comes from, so he's familiar with Tam's work.
Sinker slider type pitcher. Did some pretty good work for the A's out of their bullpen the last few years. Won some good winning ball clubs.
Runner on first base, 1 out. Mondesi at the plate. Mondesi is 1 for 3. The 1, a 2-run home run that tied the game at 6. Yankees lead 9-6 right now. There's a strike. (6-11-1) for the Jays, 9-7-1 for the Yankees. 3 home runs for the Yankees. And the 0-1. Outside, a 3-run home run by Posada in the 3rd. The 2-run shot by Mondesi in the 5th. And a 3-run shot by Matsui here in the 6th to give the Yankees the 9-6 lead. Posada, who walked, leads off first, held there by Delgado. Missed outside, 2-1.
A home run, a hanging slider that Mondesi crushed. See what happens on this 2-1 pitch.
Tried to go yard with it, fouled it back.
That was, that's the type of swing you want when you're ahead on the count. You want to take your ace swing. Now with 2-2, this is what the Yankees have been working on with Mondesi in spring training. When he has 2 strikes, think more of the rest of the field instead of the home run stroke that he just had. Try and lay one off down the right field line or into right center field for a base hit. You can see that the right fielder, Catalinato, well off the right field line, and the other 2 outfielders primarily straight away against Mondesi.
And the 2-2. Guess what, Kenny? 3-2.
I'm thinking, wasn't it Reggie Jackson and Rick Down who both worked with the Mondesi in spring training? It's kind of ironic that Reggie Jackson is working with somebody on hitting the ball the other way. Because Reggie, when he was playing, he was trying to hit it 580 feet or 600 feet and did it quite often.
The 12th full count for the Yankees.
12 times today?
Mm-hmm. Mike Schenkman tells me 12 times in the game.
That's still too many.
The 3-2. Crushed to left field. Going back is Stewart. He dropped the ball. Posada makes a turn. He'll head back to second. That's got to be an E7. I don't care how hard the ball was hit. And that is an E7, allowing Mondesi to reach.
Stewart got to the point where he looked like he was going to catch it. I don't know if the ball got in the lights or whatever, but he didn't hold on to it. Now, I don't want to say the ball was hit so hard that it knocked him over.
Almost.
But it appears to do so. The fact is, it hit him in a bad spot, right in the glove, and it comes out.
Well, we know Mondesi's ex-teammates like him. He's reached on 2 errors, one by Hinsky and now one by Stewart. Here's Enrique Wilson, 1 for 2, a double and a sac bunt. Yankees looking for more. They lead 9-6. Grounded toward first. Delgado has 1 play. He'll make it at first as the runners move up. And that will bring up Alfonso Soriano. Soriano is 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run. Then he was intentionally walked. He flied to right, and then had an infield single, a deep third down the line in the 5th, and stole another base. So he had not stolen a base before tonight. Now he has 2 in a game in the 6th inning.
This is one of those games where you feel you don't have enough runs. You know, like you're just going to have to score 1,000 if you can.
And the pitch. Hit sharply, and a diving stop by Woodward. He has no play. Posada scores an infield single for Soriano, an RBI, another multi-hit game, and the Yankees lead 10-6.
990 to go. Give Soriano an RBI. And a good play by Woodward at short to save yet another run. If this ball gets through, I'm pretty sure Mondesi would have scored as well. They teach you with 2 outs to knock the ball down in the infield. Woodward goes 1 better by making the play and saving an extra run. And Jeff Tabb knows that yet another run is scored.
Here's Nick Johnson. That is now the 8th multi-hit game of the year for Soriano, and that leads the American League.
8 out of 12. Now, he led the league last year with 69 of them, I believe.
There's a strike.
Well, each team has batted around in 1 inning. The Blue Jays did it in the 5th. The Yankees are doing it here in the 6th.
Nick Johnson trying to go yard there. The count 1 and 2.
In 2 actions. Doesn't want to get the count at 3 and 2.
Mondesi at third, Soriano's at first. 2 outs. Doug Creek, the left-hander, warming for the Blue Jays in their bullpen. Jeff Tabb, the 4th pitcher used by Carlos Tosca. He has made 44 pitching changes this year, 3 tonight, and that's the most in the American League. Runner goes. 1-2 is grounded right up the middle. Woodward fields. He'll make the out at first, and that will do it. But the Yankees take the lead. They score 4 runs on 2 hits. The big blow, an upper deck 3-run home run by Hideki Matsui. We played 6 full at the stadium. Yankees 10 and the Blue Jays 6.
Do you have what it takes to become a big brother or big sister?
Well, can you throw a ball or pop a wheelie on your bike?
Have you ever played video games?
Do you collect baseball cards? Have you ever watched TV all day?
Eaten a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
Or gone to the movies?
Think being a big brother or big sister means you have to act like an adult?
Think again. Call 1-888-412-BIGS to learn how you can make a difference in a child's life.
And make you feel like a kid again.
You're watching Yankees Encore. We now move to the top of the 7th inning. And we pick up the action with 1 out.
Kenny, do you know the definition of eternity?
Was
the
it
5th and 6th inning.
Is from here to eternity? Is that what
From here to the 5th and 6th. Take a look at all these numbers just in 2 innings in this game. 5 hits for the Jays, 6 for the Yankees, 4 runs for the Jays, 6 for the Yankees, 4 pitchers used for the Jays, 3 by the Yankees, 67 pitches thrown by the Jays, 62 by the Yankees, 4 walks drawn, and 3 walks drawn by the Yankees. Amazing. That's not clean, crisp baseball.
Now, do we have a time on that?
Long. Eternity. That little 8 on its side. Infinity. Well, here's Eric Hinsky. And Osuna has taken his warm-ups. And the Blue Jays have runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. It's 10-6 Yankees. First game of a 4-game set. Hinsky tonight is 1 for 3. And the pitch upstairs. The Yankee starters this year have walked 14 in 81 2/3 innings. The bullpen has walked 13 in 23 innings. You see Osuna's numbers. This is his 5th game. And the 1-0. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Top of the 7th inning. This game is 3 hours and 1 minute old. Already unmanageable. Carlos Delgado at 2nd. Tom Wilson at 1st, the 1-1. Staying away from Wilson, or from Hinsky in the count 2-1.
Osuna has a good fastball. He also throws a split and a slider. He's an experienced reliever. He's been in these situations many times before, and for his career, he has struck out at least 1 batter per inning.
3-1. And the 3-1 to Hinsky. There's a strike, and how about that? It's 3-2. We have been full of full counts. 14 for the game. Let's see if they send the runners. Probably not. Not down 4. The 3-2 is laced down the left field line. A base hit. Coming around 3rd is Delgado. Tom Wilson will stop at 2nd. An RBI single for Hinsky. And the Yankee lead is now 10-7.
That concluded the scoring in that inning. You're watching Yankees Encore. We now move to the top of the 9th inning.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines. Work hard. Fly right. We go to the 9th inning. Yankees lead the Jays 10-7. Juan Acevedo tries to close it out. Chris Woodward leads off. And the pitch. Inside, that was pitch 347 in this game. 347. The Yankees 177 pitches. Toronto 170. And the 1-0. Woodward tonight 1 for 3 with a walk. And the count goes 3-0. This one should be right down the pipe, and the 3-0. Right down the pipe, 3-1.
This one should be too. Make him put the ball in play. If you're Woodward, you might take another one. Play the role of the leadoff hitter.
He got on. Well, it's time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Hideki Matsui. This would put the Yankees in the lead. 3-run homer.
The big blow in the game. And the pitch to Orlando Hudson is high. By the way, that walk to Woodward, the 20th walk of the game. There's a strike. Sterling Hitchcock just watching. Long night out there as well, the 1-1. Driven out down the left field line, could be trouble. It is trouble. Bounces in for a base hit. Woodward will go to third. Moving to second is Hudson, and the Blue Jays are set up. Second and third. Nobody out here in the 9th inning. And the top of the lineup coming up.
Well, Orlando Hudson coming into the game for Dave Berg. Hudson starts most of the games. In fact, he's a switch hitter. Right here, he kind of fights this one off, pushes it down the left field line. We'll get a 2-base hit. Now Hudson got his 4th double of the year as Matsui chases the ball into the corner and gets it back in quickly. But once again, the Blue Jays have the tying run at the plate.
And Mel Stoudemire goes out to talk, and now Hammond gets up throwing again. Stewart's 2 for 4 with a walk. And the pitch. There's a strike. Stewart is the tying run at the plate. The game is now officially 4 hours old. The clock says 11:09. First pitch was 7:09. The 0-1. Grounded foul. Stewart 1 for 4 against Acevedo. Woodward's at third. Hudson is at second. Stewart at the plate. Yankees lead 10-7, top of the 9th inning. Foul back.
This has been one of those games where you just can't relax. It just always men on base, always a threat from either team.
Just missed. Don Zimmer started the game 55 years in baseball, now 56. And the 1-2. Looped out into right field. That is going to dunk in for a base hit. Woodward scores. Hudson stops at third. An RBI single for Stewart. And the Yankee lead is now 10-8. It don't come easy, as the song says.
Stewart had a good at-bat, finally got something he could fight off, and dunks it in front of Mondesi in right field. Mondesi makes sure that he keeps the ball cuttable on the way home, so the runner at first, Stewart, cannot get the second. He's the important runner on base. He represents the tying run.
Joe Torre's seen enough. He is not going to let Acevedo close this out. He is going to go to Hammond. Acevedo doesn't look pleased, but really, what does he have to complain about? He has not done the job in this inning, and he has put the tying run at first base. Acevedo gives up the ball quickly, and now they bring in Hammond. And this is a bit of a test because Hammond has not been effective against left-handed batters, and that's what he's going to face coming up. The game is on the line. You've stayed this long. Stick around. Well, Juan Acevedo will not save this game. And again, the elbow cooler takes it. And he did it with his right hand, which is not a smart thing to do. And now all he can do is watch as Chris Hammond will try to close this out. Frank Catalanato is the first batter that Hammond's going to face. You see Hammond's numbers. The one concern that's not up there on that graphic is that right-handers against Hammond are hitless in 5 at-bats. Left-handers have 6 hits and 13 at-bats. And you see it right there.
2 of the next 3 hitters are left-handed, Catalanato and Delgado, following Wells, who is a pretty good hitter.
First and third, still nobody out. Hammond, the 6th Yankee pitcher. And there's a strike. Catalanato from Smithtown, Long Island, is 2 for 5. Lots of family and friends in the stands watching him. And the 0-1. Reaches out and fouls it away. So he's out in front, 0-2. Hammond last year with a 0.95 ERA, the 3rd lowest ERA in the history of baseball. And the 0-2. Throws the bat at it, just fouled it off.
Catalanato completely fooled, just trying to stay alive up there. This is not as easy as it looks, throwing the bat and making contact with the ball. Or not as easy as he made it look.
Hudson's at third. Stewart is at first. Stewart can run. Ground it right back to Hammond. He'll go to second, 1 on the first double play. Runner comes home. Here's the throw. Not in time. It was almost a game-ending triple play. So it's a 1-6-3 double play. The run scores. There's no RBI. The Yankee lead is now 10-9. That would have been an amazing way to end this game. That was some throw to second by Hammond.
It certainly was. Right on the money for Wilson to turn to double play. The Yankees are thinking, well, we get the double play, there'll be nobody on at 2 outs, and a run will score. But Hudson didn't get a good break, and the reason he didn't, because Hammond checked him. The throw was there in time. He just got by Posada to score the 9th run. Here it is. Once again, Wilson steps across, makes a strong throw, and by now Hudson's making his break, and the tag, it looked like Posada was a little far up the line and couldn't make the sweep tag.
The Yankees have not had a triple play in 5,483 regular season games coming into this year. That would have been a very odd one. The 2-0. That one's driven deep to center field. Bernie Williams back. He has room. He puts it away. And the ball game is finally over. And the Yankees win. 10-9. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays in the first game of this 4-game set. And Chris Hammond comes on and finally nails it down. Hideki Matsui with a big 3-run home run. And that was the difference in this game. And Chris Hammond has his first big moment as a Yankee, nailing down the game and finally ending what seemed like an endless evening. Yankees win 10-9. When we come back, we'll break it down and then we'll wrap it up. All of that coming up next on Yes. Well, it took 4 hours and 8 minutes, but the Yankees finally nailed down a 10-9 victory over the Blue Jays, 10-8-1 to 9-16-2, and the Yankees take the first game of this 4-game set. Well, you've been watching New York Yankees Encore on the Yes Network. Once again, our final score, the Yankees 10, the Blue Jays 9. Join us again Tuesday for our next Yankees telecast right here on Yes, when the Bombers take on the Blue Jays. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Fred Hickman, Susan Waldman, and the New York Yankees pregame show. For Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Thanks for watching.